watching NHK World, and this is Newsline for 3 a.m. Japan time. Tokyo Electric Power Company says it needs to revise its announcement that 10 million times the normal density of radioactive materials have been detected in water at the number 2 reactor of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. On Sunday, Tokyo Electric Power Company said that extremely high levels of radioactive substances had been detected in leaked water that accumulated in the basement of the number 2 reactor's turbine building. It said 2.9 billion becquerels per cubic centimeter had been detected in the leaked water. But on Sunday night, it said that data for iodine-134 announced earlier in the day was actually for another substance that has a longer half-life. The company will conduct another test of the leaked water at the reactor's turbine building.
By taking new samples, we are trying to determine if the leaked material is iodine-134. But as of now, it is not certain that it is iodine-134.
It said although the initial figure was wrong, the water still has a high level of radioactivity of 1,000 millisieverts per hour. Japan's defense ministry has released new aerial video of the Fukushima Daiichi plant, which clearly shows the damage to the reactors.
We can't see inside because of the vapor.
Taken from a ground self-defense force helicopter at 10 a.m. on Sunday, the video shows the ceiling of the number 1 reactor building that collapsed in a hydrogen blast. White vapor, possibly steam, is leaking from several holes in the roof of the building of the number 2 reactor. The roof of the number 3 reactor building was also blown off by a hydrogen explosion, and steam can be seen leaking from inside. The walls of the number 4 reactor building have collapsed, exposing what appears to be a ball-shaped yellow structure. Steam is gushing out from the building. The self-defense forces say they will continue taking aerial videos to check the situation at the plant. High levels of radioactive substances have also been found in the sea near the troubled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. The Nuclear and Industrial Safety Agency reported that radioactive iodine in excess of 1,850 times regulated standards was found in seawater collected near the plant on Saturday. On Friday, iodine-131 at a then-record 1,250 times regulated standards was detected in seawater collected in the same place, 330 meters south of a plant water outlet.
The agency official says people within a 20-kilometer radius of the plant have already been ordered to leave. He says the radioactive substances will be largely diluted by the time they are absorbed by marine life, and even more so by the time they are consumed by humans. So he says there is no need to worry about health hazards.
At most sampling sites in northeastern Japan, radioactivity levels in the air decreased slightly on Sunday. Although levels in some towns are still higher than normal, officials say the radioactivity poses no immediate harm to human health.
From midnight until 9 a.m., according to radiation readings nationwide, in Miyagi Prefecture, at a northeast, 120 kilometers northeast of the Daiichi nuclear power plant in Onagawa town, from 30 minutes past midnight, 0.83 microsieverts per hour was detected. This is a higher than normal dosage reading. In Fukushima Prefecture, 65 kilometers northwest of the Daiichi nuclear power plant in Fukushima City, 5 a.m., readings of 3.87 microsieverts per hour was detected. In Minami Soma City, at 9 a.m., 1.11 microsieverts was detected to the hour. In Koriyama City, at 1 a.m., 3.32 microsieverts to the hour was detected. In Iwaki City, at midnight, 1.17 microsieverts per hour was the readings. These are higher than normal dosages. In Ibaraki Prefecture, in Kita Ibaraki City, at 7:40 a.m., 0.88 microsieverts to the hour was detected. In Mito City, at 0:40 a.m., 0.25 microsieverts to the hour was detected. These are somewhat higher than normal dosage readings.
Major steel makers are moving to provide electricity to TEPCO to help ease power shortages in Tokyo and surrounding areas. Sumitomo Metal Industries has reactivated its conventional power station at its steel plant in Kashima, Ibaraki Prefecture. The station was shut down after the quake for safety checks, but reopened on Saturday. Sumitomo Metal says it has a capacity of 500,000 kilowatts. The company says it will provide the whole amount to TEPCO. Another major steel producer, JFE Steel, is running its power station around the clock at its plant in Chiba City near Tokyo. The station can produce about 400,000 kilowatts. Nippon Steel jointly runs a power facility with TEPCO in its mill near the capital. It's also supplying 500,000 kilowatts to the electricity company by operating the station at full capacity. More than 10,000 people have now been confirmed dead in Japan's latest disaster, and the toll is expected to rise further. Japanese police say so far 10,804 people have been confirmed dead and over 16,200 are missing after the earthquake and tsunami hit northeastern Japan. Police say that the number of dead and missing is likely to rise further as entire families were swept away by the tsunami. Over 193,000 people are living in evacuation facilities around the country. The stressful living conditions and the prolonged time away from home could take its toll on the health of the evacuees, especially the elderly. Meanwhile, the National Police Agency says at least 18,000 houses were completely destroyed and about 140,000 damaged. Weather officials are forecasting below freezing temperatures in the disaster areas. The Meteorological Agency also warns of strong aftershocks. A senior official of the governing Democratic Party of Japan has suggested that his party may review the proposed corporate tax cut as part of its efforts to raise funds to rebuild quake-ravaged areas. DPJ Secretary General Katsuya Okada was speaking to reporters on Sunday in Hachinohe City, one of the municipalities hit hardest by the March 11th earthquake and tsunami. He said the government may reconsider the planned 5% reduction in corporate tax for the fiscal year starting in April.
Stopping the tax reduction may lead to further funds for the reconstruction of quake-hit areas.
But he added that no concrete discussions on the issue are underway. The government and the governing coalition agreed on the tax cut at the strong request of business organizations who say it is necessary in order to strengthen the international competitiveness of Japanese firms. There are a lot of survivors desperately looking for their missing family members. Here's a report from one of the stricken elementary schools in Ishinomaki City, Miyagi Prefecture.
Desperate searches still continue in the affected areas. In Ishinomaki City, Miyagi Prefecture, firefighters are heading to an elementary school in the Okawa district. The children gathered in the school ground immediately after the earthquake. As a roll call was being made for evacuation, the tsunami hit the school, engulfing its first and second floors. During the search, firefighters found many backpacks and shoes which the children had been wearing when the tsunami hit. Eight of the 108 children died and 18 others are still missing. Some parents were seen desperately searching for their children in the school grounds. Firefighters have been conducting the search since March 14th, but they decided to halt the operation for the time being after searching the compound thoroughly. Nahoko Imano, whose son Hiromu is missing, says she is upset with their decision to end the search in the school ground, since she was desperately hoping her son would be found there soon. The search will be expanded to a wider area around the school.
The tsunami has dealt the fishery industry on the northeast coast of Japan a huge blow. Many ports were destroyed and fishing boats were washed ashore and damaged. But despite these misfortunes, some fishermen can't wait to get back to work.
This is Soma City in the northeast area of Fukushima Prefecture. 10-meter tsunami devastated many coastal communities. More than 2,000 people either died or went missing in Soma and Shinchi cities. Many citizens left the city after the disaster, and the restoration has not started yet. Mr. Masahiro Kikuchi is a deep-sea trawler. After hearing the crisis at the nuclear power plant, he evacuated to Yamagata Prefecture with his family. But later, thinking that the level of radiation is not significant, he came back to Soma City to check on his house. The water went all the way up here. The seawater totally immersed the first floor, making it unlivable. Mr. Kikuchi is nervous, for it would take him a long time to get his life back to a more normal conditions. Nobody is coming back to Soma City here for fear of radioactivity. Without the fear of radiation, I can clear this junk in no time and start repairing my boat. This is Matsukawa-ura fishing boat, Mr. Kikuchi's mother port. The port used to boast the largest number of the deep-sea trawler among all the ports in Japan. The tsunami waves went over at the top of the harbor building, which itself stands at 10 meters high. The part of the breakwater collided against the fishing market, and the roof collapsed. 100 fishing boats, about half of the boats moored here, are drifted away. Mr. Kikuchi happened to have his boat moored in another port, so today he came to this port to check. The mooring rope snapped and the boat grounded on the wharf. This is terrible, he says. The metal pillar pierced the bottom of the boat. I think it is okay. Mr. Kikuchi considers the engine is okay and the boat can be operable after repairing the engine. However, that he is worried about the impact of the radiation in the future. The boat can be repaired in half a year, 1 year. But how about the sea? How about the fishing ground? Uphill battle awaits Mr. Kikuchi.
Here is the world weather forecast.